Genesis chapter 19, Destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah. When the two angels reached Sodom in the evening, Lot was sitting at the gate of the town. As soon as he saw them, he rose to meet them, bowed with his face to the ground, and said, Sirs, I pray you to come to your servant's house to stay the night. Wash your feet, and then in the morning you may rise early and go on your way. They said, No, we will spend the night in the square. But so strongly did he insist that they went with him to his house. There he prepared a meal for them, baking bread without yeast. This they ate. They had not yet gone to bed when men from the town surrounded the house. They were the men of Sodom, young and old, the entire population. They called Lot and said to him, Where are the men who arrived here tonight? Send them out so that we may have sex with them. Lot went out to meet them, shut the door behind him, and said, I beg you, my brothers, don't do such a wicked thing. I have 2 daughters who are still virgins. Let me bring them out to you. You may do with them as you please. But do not do anything to these men, for they have come to shelter under my roof. But they replied, Get out of the way. This fellow is a foreigner and he wants to play the judge. Now we will do worse with you than with them. They pressed hard against Lot and drew near in order to break the door. But the men inside the house stretched out their hands to bring Lot inside, and then shut the door. As for those at the entrance to the house, they were struck with blindness, from the smallest to the largest, so that they were unable to find the door. The 2 men said to Lot, Who is still here with you? Your sons, your daughters, and all your people in the town. Get them all out of this place. We are about to destroy this place. The cry for retribution against it is great before the Lord who has sent us to destroy it. Lot went out and spoke to his sons-in-law, those who were to marry his daughters, saying, Hurry, leave, for the Lord is about to destroy the town. But they took what he said as a joke. At daybreak the angels urged Lot, saying, Hurry, take your wife and your 2 daughters who are here, lest they perish because of the sin of the town. As he hesitated, the men took him by the hand, and his wife and his 2 daughters with him, because the Lord had mercy on him, and they led him outside the town and left him there. When they were outside, the men said to him, Flee for your life and do not look back, and do not stop anywhere in the plain. Flee to the mountain lest you perish. But Lot replied, No, sir, your servant has found favor with you, and you have shown me great kindness in saving my life. But I cannot flee to the mountains for fear the disaster will overtake me and I die. See, there is a town near enough for me to flee to, and it's a small one. Let me flee there. It is very small, that is why the town is called Zoar. So I will be safe. And the angel answered, I grant you this favor as well, but not destroying the town you speak of. But flee fast, for I can do nothing until you arrive there. The sun had risen on the earth when Lot reached Zoar. Then the Lord rained on Sodom and Gomorrah brimstone and fire from heaven, and he completely destroyed those towns and all the plain and all the inhabitants of the towns and everything that grew there. Lot's wife looked back, and she became a pillar of salt. Early next morning Abraham returned to the place where he had stood before the Lord. He looked down towards Sodom and Gomorrah and towards all the land of the district, and he saw smoke rising from the earth like the smoke from a furnace. So when God destroyed the towns of the plain, he remembered Abraham and made Lot escape from the catastrophe while he destroyed the cities where Lot had lived. Origin of Moabites and Ammonites. Lot went up from Zoar and lived in the hills with his 2 daughters because he was afraid to live in Zoar. He lived in a cave, he and his 2 daughters. The elder said to the younger, "Our father is old, and there is not a man in the country to lie with us, as is the custom all over the world. Come, let us make our father drunk with wine. We shall lie with him and have the race survive through our father." So they made their father drink wine that night, and the elder went to lie with the father. He knew nothing of it, neither when she lay with him nor when she left. The next day the elder daughter said to the younger, "Last night I slept with my father. Let us give him wine again tonight, and you go and lie with him. In this way we shall continue the race through our father." Again that night they got their father to drink wine. The younger went and lay with him. He was aware of nothing, neither when she lay with him nor when she left. Thus the 2 daughters of Lot became pregnant by their father. The elder gave birth to a son and named him Moab. He was the ancestor of the Moabites who live today. The younger also gave birth to a son and named him Ben-Ami. He is the ancestor of the Ammonites who exist to this day. Genesis chapter 20. Abraham and Abimelech. Abraham proceeded to the territory of the Negev and lived between Kadesh and Shur, and he stayed for a time in Gerar. Abraham had said of his wife, "She is my sister." So Abimelech king of Gerar sent for Sarah and had her brought to him. But God came to Abimelech in a dream at night. He said to him, "You are to die because of this woman you have taken, for she is a married woman." But Abimelech had not gone near, so he said, "My lord, are you going to kill innocent people as well? Did he not say to me, 'She is my sister'? And she said to me, 'He is my brother.' I acted with clear conscience and with innocent hands." God said to him in the dream, "I knew that you did that with clear conscience, and I prevented you from sinning against me. That is why I did not let you touch her. Now give the woman back to the man, for he is a prophet. He will pray for you, and you shall live. But if you did not give her back, know that you will surely die, you and all yours will die." So Abimelech rose early in the morning and called all his officials and told them of all these things. The officials were terrified. Abimelech then called Abraham and said to him, "What have you done to us? In what way have I wronged you? For you to bring against me and my kingdom such a grave sin. You have done to me things that should not be done." And Abimelech said to Abraham, "Why did you act as you did?" Abraham said, "I thought, there is no fear of God at all in this place, and they will kill me because of my wife. Yet it is true that she is my sister, the daughter of my father, but not of my mother, and she became my wife. So when God made me wander far from my father's family, I said to her, 'Now if you love me, I beg you to say that I am your brother wherever we go.'" Abimelech then brought sheep and cattle, male and female slaves, and gave them to Abraham. And he had Sarah return to her husband. And he told Abraham, "See, here is my whole land. Live wherever you please." And to Sarah he said, "I am giving your brother 1,000 silver coins. It will be as a compensation for you, and an evidence for all those who are with you, so none of them will think ill of you." Then Abraham prayed to God, and God healed Abimelech, his wife and his maid, so that they were able to have children again. For the Lord had made it impossible for Abimelech's wife and maids to have more children because of Abraham's wife Sarah. Psalm chapter 10, Prayer for Deliverance from Enemies. Why, O Lord, do you stand afar? Why hide from us in times of trouble? In their pride the wicked harass the weak, the poor become victims of their evil schemes. The exploiter wallows in his power and greed. The covetous blasphemes and renounces God. In his pride the wicked says, God will not call me to account. He always thinks, there is no God. The wicked prosper in their ways, your laws are too far from their minds. Haughtily they sneer at their rivals. Each one saying to himself, nothing will shake me, I will never meet any adversity. His mouth is full of curses, deceit and threats, spite and mischief are under his tongue. He lies in ambush near the villages, murdering the innocent and the unfortunate, looking out for his next victim. He lurks in secret like a lion in its den. He lurks in secret to seize the poor. He seizes the poor and drags them off in his net. Stooping and crouching, he waits till the hapless victim falls into his power. He thinks to himself, God has forgotten. He has hidden his face and will never see this. Rise, O Lord, O God, raise your hand. Do not forget the afflicted. Why do the wicked revile God and say in their hearts, He will not call us to account? But you see those in misery, O God, and you take it in your hands. The unfortunate commits himself to you. The orphan turns to you for help. Break the power of the wicked and evildoers. Seek out their wickedness till there is none to be found. The Lord is king forever and ever. The nations are doomed to vanish from his land. You hear, O Lord, the longings of the afflicted. You strengthen their hearts and you listen to their cry. You give heed to the miserable plight of the exploited, so that no one on earth may rise again and strike terror. Matthew chapter 8, verse 1 to 17. The cure of a leper. When Jesus came down from the mountain, large crowds followed him. Then a leper came forward, bowed low before him and said, Lord, if you want to, you can make me clean. Jesus stretched out his hand, touched him and said, I do want it, be cleansed. At that very moment the man was cleansed from his leprosy. Then Jesus said to him, see that you do not tell anyone, but go to the priest. Have yourself declared clean and offer the gift that Moses ordered as proof of it. The faith of the centurion. When Jesus entered Capernaum, an army officer approached him to ask his help. Lord, my servant lies sick at home. He is paralyzed and suffers terribly. Jesus said to him, I will come and heal him. The officer answered, I am not worthy to have you under my roof. Just say the word and my servant will be healed. For I am a man under orders myself, and I have soldiers under me. And if I say to one, go, he goes. And if I say to another, come, he comes. And if I tell my servant, do this, he does it. When Jesus heard this, he was astonished and said to those who were following him, I tell you, I have found no one in Israel with faith like this. I say to you, many will come from east and west and sit down with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob at the feast in the kingdom of heaven. But those who belong to the kingdom will be thrown out into the darkness outside. There they will weep and gnash their teeth. Then Jesus said to the officer, go home now. What you believed will happen. And at that moment his servant was healed. Jesus went to Peter's house and saw Peter's mother-in-law in bed with fever. He touched her hand and the fever left her. She got up and began to wait on him. When it was evening, they brought to Jesus many possessed by evil spirits, and with a word he drove out the spirits. He also healed all who were sick. In doing this, he fulfilled what was spoken by the prophet Isaiah. He took away our infirmities and took on himself our diseases.